Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to talk about summary of data unloading features. This is the second video from Snowflake data unloading playlist. Here is the today's agenda as part of summary of data unloading features. Output data file details, compression of output data files, encryption of output data details. We will discuss in detail one by one in the next slide. Output data file details. The following table describes the general details for the output files generated by the Snowflake when unloading data. Here is unloading data is nothing but you have to run the copy command and you have to specify after that copy into you have to specify the location. Here location of the file could be your local files, Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage, Microsoft Azure. Any one of the four options you can specify. After that, you can specify your query or your table or multiple tables based on the your query. Okay, like you can join the more than one table and you can run that query as part of your copy command so that unloading data will be happening. So here if you see the location of files, I explained that four locations are supported in Snowflake. So first one is the local files. So files are first unloaded to a Snowflake internal location, then can be downloaded locally using the get command. As we all know that I already uploaded many videos and showed that to upload the file into the Snowflake internal location we have to use the foot command. So similar way to unload, okay, we have to use the get command. The moment when you execute the get command, the file will be unload into your local system where you are going to, here local system means where you are going to run the this get command. Okay, that is the one option. Another location, files in the Amazon S3 files can be downloaded unloaded directly to any user supplied bucket in S3, then can be downloaded locally using the AWS. Please note that AWS utilities. What are the AWS utilities? Suppose if you are going to use the AWS Python language and you have to write a logic inside the Python, then you have to use the or configure in your local system like AWS SDK for Python, that is called Boto3 library. So this Boto3 library will be used as part of your Python programming. So how you are going to use? By using the pip command, you can configure Boto3 library as part of your Python, and then you can write the Python script. Okay, by using the importing the Boto3 library, you can write the logic to download the file from AWS into your local machine. Another option is the another location, files in the Google Cloud Storage. Files can be unloaded directly to any user supplied container in cloud storage, then can be downloaded locally using the cloud storage utilities. Here cloud storage utilities, you know Google providing the Python client for Google Cloud Storage, and similar way even you know uh, many languages are there. Many clients for Java, we have a Java client for the Google Cloud Storage, like that Node.js, PHP. We have a multiple clients, okay, based on your language. But here I am mentioned that for example I have mentioned Python only. Okay, and the other one is the file, other location is the files in Microsoft Azure. Files can be unloaded directly to any user supplied container in Azure, then can be downloaded locally using the Azure utilities. Here Azure utilities, like for Python, quick start manage blobs with Python v version 1 to SDK. So similar way, if you don't want to Python, if you want to download it by using the PowerShell script, you no need to you know any configuration, because if you are going to use the Windows operating system along with the Windows operating system, PowerShell script also will be there, so that directly you can write your code by using the PowerShell script to PowerShell, like we have AG commands, Azure commands are there. So you can directly write those commands. With that help, you can download the file into locally. And another feature is the file formats. So when you are unloading the data into one of the location, you have to specify the what is the file format and what is the delimiter, suppose. So if you are going to use the CSV files, then you have to specify the delimiter. So delimiter, what are the supported files? CSV, TSV, etc. Like even text files also you can generate. Any valid delimiter is supported. Default is comma. Okay, if you don't specify the any file format, then default it will generate the comma separated. And also you can unload the data in form of JSON file. So for that you have to use the JSON file format. And Parquet also you can unload the data in form of file is the Parquet file. For that you have to use the file format as the Parquet file. And file encoding, so UTF-8. So output files are always encoded using the UTF-8, okay, regardless of the file format. No other character sets are supported. So only as of now today UTF-8 character set only supported while unloading data into any one of the supported locations. Okay, we have 4 supported locations: internal, Azure, Google, and Amazon, AWS. Okay. Now compression of output data files. So while unloading the file into your any one of the location, you can compress that file. So the following table describes how Snowflake handles the compressions for output files generated by Snowflake when unloading data. See here, location of files could be internal, external. Okay, you can unload the uh, data file internal or external location. So supported compression is technique is the gzip. Okay, by default all unloaded data files are compressed using the unzip unless compression is explicitly disabled or one of the other supported compression method is explicitly specified. So if you don't specify while unloading the file, so by default the extension would be gzip, that means compression. And if you don't want that one, you can disable, or else if you specify other than that, okay, the file will be unloaded in that extension. Like there are some other uh, mm, uh, compression types are there, but I never used these things. Okay, just I am explaining the what are all there. I am just showing what are all other compression supported techniques are there in Snowflake. So bgip2, brotil, even I don't know how to pronounce them also, because I never used that one. I used only gzip. Okay, so G standard, and those are the. And the next one is the encryption of the output data files. The following table describes how Snowflake handles encryption for output files generated by the Snowflake when unloading data. See here, location. Based on the location, we are going to specify the encryption key. So here, internal location, you can apply the 128-bit or 256-bit keys. All data files unloaded to the Snowflake internal locations are automatically encrypted using 128-bit keys. Okay, so encryption will be happening. Okay, the files are encrypted when they are downloaded to the local directory. Directory. Okay, here directory is the spelling directory. 256-bit keys can be enabled. However, additional configuration is required. So you have already assumed that unloaded the file into your internal location. By the time default, I mean if you don't specify any key, 128-bit will be applied. After that, by using the get command, if you download that one, okay, that file will be unencrypted by using the key, whatever that key. Okay, and the external location. So external location, you can use the user supplied key or Snowflake supplied key. So that is the option you have. So data files unloaded to the cloud storage can be encrypted if security key for encryption files is provided to the Snowflake. So any, I mean, based on the external location, how they are going to provide, what type of keys are they are providing, we can use them as part of unloading the data. Yeah, that's all from this video. Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on bell icon for notifications and like it. Share it to your friends. Thank you once again.